So, yeah, welcome back. Today's theme is friendship. We're going to talk about friends. And we've got a twofer for you because I've got my friend Layton Lillas here again. Layton is, we've collaborated on a number of songs over the years. And so for the first half of this, we're going to play an original of Layton's called Best Friends. Is that right, Lates?
Best Friends, yep.
Best Friends. So this is Layton's original that he wrote around 2015, I'm guessing?
Yeah, 2016, I think, yeah.
And so it's been on Spotify for a number of years. It's up to 12,000 streams on Spotify. And it's doing well up there. And it's a really hooky song. Like Late's style is big, sexy hooks. And this song is no exception. It's a typical Late's tune. It's got a big, sexy hook to it. And I love it. A big chorus. And we're going to talk about the structure of this song and some of the inspiration for the lyrics. And I thought, well, wait a second. Best Friends. Didn't Layton and I, co-write a song called Best Friends? And it turns out we didn't. We co-wrote a song called Great Friends. And I thought, well, we should do that one too. So for the first half, we're going to talk about Layton's original Best Friends. And we're going to talk about a song that we co-wrote together. It's a children's song. And we're going to do that one as well in the second half. And that one's called Great Friends. And I think it's fitting because, friends, as we move on in our life, we tend to discount sometimes the importance of friendship. And I know particularly, and I'm going to speak from my experience, that certainly in my 30s when I was turning into a workaholic and I was just getting into my trade and really immersed in it, friendship with other male friends became very less important than what I was doing with my time. And it was during the pandemic, actually, and that's when Layton and I wrote the song Great Friends, was during the pandemic. He came over and he had this idea for a kids IP, and he said, Dave, why don't we start this new brand, and we'll team up, and I'll be a character, and he'll be kind of a funky character version of himself, and we'll write some kids songs. And I've written a lot of kids songs over the years, so I thought it was a great idea. And I was very eager to collaborate with Layton on this. And getting back to the idea of friendship, well, it is important, and it isn't something to be to let go of. And I circled back to a lot of my oldest friendships during the pandemic. I started sending friends voicemails, and I would just literally record myself talking into my phone as though they were there on the other line, and I would email it to them. And I used that, I leaned on that method quite a bit during the pandemic and since to, let's say, rekindle old friendships and get closer with friends. And now at an age that I don't even want to admit to, you can say he looks 40. I won't mind. Unfortunately, it's a little bit up. Let's move on. Anyway, as you move on through life, you realize that friendship is really important. I remember, I can't remember who the actor was. All I remember is there was a quote, and I feel like it was someone like a Robin Williams. This is back in the 80s, and I was a kid, and all I wanted when I was 11 years old, 12 years old, was to be rich and famous. Like every 11, 12-year-old kid, I wanted to be rich and famous because what I saw on TV, rich and famous people looked like they were happy and they had mansions and they had no problems with their life. And so rich and famous was the key to that success. And I can't remember if it was Robin Williams in this interview or someone like him, but he was asked on a talk show, what are you happiest about that's worked out in your life? And his answer was, I am so grateful because I've had so many great friends in my life. And I remember being 11, 12 years old looking at my best friend and thinking, that's a weird answer, isn't it? I mean, that's a really weird answer. We've got tons of friends. We have tons of friends by this point. We're pretty good at making friends. By the time you're 11 or 12 years old, you know how to make a friend, right? And you got plenty of them. You don't have a mansion. You don't have fame. You don't have wealth. I thought, why didn't he talk about any of that stuff? But now, as I'm probably as old as Robin Williams was during that interview, if it was him, I can't remember, I understand exactly what he meant, because particularly getting through the pandemic and the hard times since then. And, you know, what you realize as you get older is life is no piece of cake after a certain milestone, whether it's a birthday or buying a house or having a kid. It continues to be hard. It continues to be challenging all the way through. And friends are the thing that's going to help you through. A big bank account might be nice, but lots of people with big bank accounts fall over and have personal meltdowns because they don't have that network of friends. And friends is what it's all about. So I think the topic of friends is something that we can explore over and over and over again, and not enough songs could ever be written about that topic. If you want to write one at home about the topic of friendship, I encourage you to. Today we're going to look at two that Lates wrote one of them. He's co-written the other with me. And without further blah, blah, blah from me, let's get into it. So welcome, Lates. Welcome back to
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Yeah. Okay, Lates, go ahead and let's start into it. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, look, just as you've sort of alluded to there in your intro, I don't think friendships are celebrated enough in songs. Certainly love is something that is all through songwriting for modern history, I guess. But yeah, friendship and mateship is something to be treasured, and that's what was the inspiration for Best Friends. It was I'm a concert promoter, and I've always found on tours, because you're in a bit of a pressure cooker situation, you're in a unique situation, and bands for that matter, you become quick friends and best friends really quickly, and it's what sort of the shared experience sort of galvanizes that relationship. So that's how this came about, Dave, and it's a neat little song called Best Friends. So would you like me to play it for you?
I did have one question.
Yeah.
Did you write this song on the road then?
No, it was... We call it post-tour blues, and it's something that I know affects a lot of the younger people that come on the road, and probably any of you out there that have ever been on a theatre tour or with a band on tour or whatever. You get in this situation where you're like Vikings conquering towns one after another, and then all of a sudden you get dropped home, and it's the thing you've been waiting for. And when you get home, you don't know where you fit in anymore. People have carried on living their normal lives, whether it be your partner or your child or even the dog. And so it was written post-tour. It was just in one of those sort of down times where I was reflecting back on all the laughs and all the really fun times that we had, and all the long conversations on drives. And that was what the inspiration for this came from on this particular tour. So, yeah.
That's really cool, Lates. Thanks for that clarity on that too. And you know what? It sounds very familiar to sports players. Certainly we hear it from musicians who go out on the road and they come back and they have that feeling. I personally lived as an expat in a few different countries throughout my life, and I'm still living in a foreign country to where I was born. And you find that you've changed. Things when you come home are still the same, but you've changed, you know, and you're no longer that same person. And so that's a lot to deal with from a mental perspective. You know what? Lates, I just have to turn down something here on your vocals. Okay, mate, we're ready for you. Sorry about that.
So this song, anyway, just to give a bit of a preface of how it was written, acoustic guitar was my choice for this one. And, you know, I think we talked in one of the other episodes, it has to start with a bit of a seed of an idea. And I saw a thing just last night from Chris Martin of Coldplay. He comes up with song names and he writes them in his phone. And he was telling the story about, I think, Viva La Vida, their hit song. Same thing here. I just had this idea. I wanted to write a song about best friends, you know, that come from tour. And it just so happened, and this is what happens with the doodling on an instrument, I just came up with that idea. And I was also quite fascinated with the major seventh chord.
Right.
That's D major 7. So I was like, oh, that's nice. So that started the introduction. And so I'll play it anyway. You might have some other questions as we go through. Some people cross your paths and they're gone. Some let you fall in love. Some make you laugh, some make you cry. Some friendships fit like a glove. But every now and then you know when a special person enters your day. It's like divine intervention shows there's a bigger picture at play. Yesterday was the beginning, tomorrow may bring the end, but somewhere in the middle we didn't know we'd become best friends. Yesterday was the beginning, tomorrow may bring the end, but somewhere in the middle we didn't know we'd become best friends. We could talk till the sun came up. We could sit and say nothing at all. We've shared memories no one else has. We survive where others may fall. But every now and then we know something special's being built from the ground. It didn't need a guru to show there's a bigger picture at play. Yesterday was the beginning, tomorrow may bring the end, but somewhere in the middle we didn't know we'd become best friends. Yesterday was the beginning, tomorrow may bring the end, but somewhere in the middle we didn't know we'd become best friends. For all the time we may be apart, you always feel so close, that a special place is out of my heart for you. Yesterday was the beginning, tomorrow may bring the end, but somewhere in the middle we didn't know we'd become best friends. Yesterday was the beginning, tomorrow may bring the end, but somewhere in the middle we didn't know we'd become best friends.
Very nice, Lates. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot. What am I doing? Lates, what am I doing? Okay,
Do you
let's
want to
just
dissect the song a little? This is normally the part, Dave, where you've got a whole lot of comments on some of my decisions on chords, and yeah.
I got lost in Yonkers there. I honestly did.
I know.
I was trying to play along. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to hit the ball. I wanted to run around the bases. I wanted to catch the ball. I wanted to throw it at another guy. I wanted to do all the things all at once. Okay, look, I loved it, Lates. It's a real, like when I said it's a typical Layton song, I mean that in the nicest way, because you had all kinds of elements in there. Like, for example, okay, it's got the verse, chorus. It's set up with the typical structure and verse, chorus, and you've even got a really neat bridge in there. And what I noticed on the last chorus, I was trying to
follow along. I wanted to yell, "We do something different."
You did do something different too. So tell me, okay, so yeah, let's start at the big chorus, right? Okay, so we'll start at the big chorus. It's starting on your root, which is the song's in the key of A. So
A major, yeah.
A major, right? Yesterday was the beginning.
F sharp minor.
Right, okay.
To
so
D.
Now you got F sharp minor, and somewhere in the middle.
Then B minor.
B minor, which is nice. So that's
C sharp minor.
See the 3.
D.
Yep.
And then E.
So it's
major.
walking up the scale, which I really like. A lot of songs are going to, the cliche version would have been, yesterday was the beginning, da-da-da-da-da-da, but somewhere in the middle, we didn't know we'd become. Okay, and you'd skip the 2 and the 3 chord, the B minor and the C sharp minor. So those are some kind of tasty little additions that you added in there.
Yeah.
That add flavor to the song. And as well, there was one time where you went to the minor 4. So that was going into the chorus.
That's in the lead-in for the chorus.
Can you play that for me, please?
So we're in the pre-chorus. It's like divine intervention shows there's a bigger major at play yesterday.
Yeah.
And see, my normal way would just be to just do a little build up, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it just felt right, and I don't know. The memory escapes me as to why I did that. You know what it might be, but it may be the other way. There's a Beatles song that might do something. Mm-hmm. No, it's around the other way.
Well, it's a very Beatles-esque move to do that, to take your 4 chord, which in this case is the A. Sorry, is the D. So in the key of A, D is your 4, and then right.
Just leads it in.
That's My Life by the Beatles.
Is it?
I can't sing it.
Yeah.
We'll get copyright claim, but yeah. In My Life, I've loved them all. That's exactly the trick right there. So you're going to the 4. You could do it in any key. If you were in G, it would be a C major to a C minor. So.
But so without being too clever, Dave, it just was a little, just added, the word you're using there's flavor. It just added something interesting musically that worked.
One thing that I like about interesting chords underneath a melody line is sometimes if you can change, keep the melody line the same, but slide an interesting chord in there and the melody sounds the same, it will give the listener something different, something unique to hear as they're it makes your ears kind of perk up and go, oh, I like that, and it's less cliche. And so I'm always searching for ways of doing that. You had a bunch of them in there.
Well, we did that in after the bridge, the first time we go back into the chorus, rather than just going back to the root note of the A major. Yesterday was a beginning. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, let's talk about the bridge. Can you just start at the beginning, because a bridge is neat. It's you got to go away to come back, and we want to end at that big chorus. But I really like bridges. I try to stick them in a song. It's just somewhere to go away and come back. It's sometimes I think of it as almost a mini song within a song.
Yeah. So a little bit with that one was that I became obsessed around this time with David Bowie's voice and his low register. And so there's a little part in that where, for all the time we may be apart, you always feel so close, that a special place is held in my heart for you. And it was trying to bring something of that in there rather than always singing in your medium register. And it just felt right.
So is that the way that you sang it on the recorded version that's up on Spotify?
Yeah. And it just felt right to do it. And got us in. Probably the only other bit that's sort of missing is there was a nice little lead lick. And that came in very early in the songwriting process. And this was the lick. It just went...
Can you play me those chords and I'll give a try to...
So it's A sus to A.
Get me started on the kind of the chords. All right. Just those two? You want to play the riff?
Keep going. Oh. Let's start it. Keep it going. I was on the wrong thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So this again, just for me, I always think little lead licks like that, to be meaningful, you need to almost be able to whistle them.
Yeah.
It needs to be a melodic addition to the song. It just, again, added another little flavor to it. Nice and simple.
And that's in the intro.
That's in the intro.
Does it ever come back?
I repeated after the first chorus.
Right. And so then it becomes a motif, I like to call it, right?
And I also repeated at the very end.
Oh, very cool. So do you remember how long this song is?
Yeah, it'd be 4.5.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And even as I was singing it now acoustically, weirdly enough, I reckon, and this is just, I reckon it could be trimmed. And I have to say, just as a little message to you people that are watching in a songwriting, that's one benefit of the collaboration, is that when you've written it yourself, the tendency is to keep adding. And sometimes that's what someone else can bring, whether it be a producer, a fellow songwriter. They can see it with some fresh eyes and ears and go, you know what? It doesn't need that extra chorus. It doesn't need that extra solo. Bring it together. Make it nice and concise. Say what you need to say. Let's all move on, you know?
Yeah, I do. I like to try and get them down to, 3.5 tops. For a pop song, yeah, absolutely. And for the listener, and so if you've got, because you've got all the ingredients in there. So I would, I try to keep everything. I try to keep your motif at the beginning, that solo. I would try to go, verse, chorus, maybe chop down you did 2 choruses at the end. So maybe just trim one for the radio edit.
Or maybe even the first chorus, I did it twice. And as I was doing it to you then, I was like, I probably, on reflection. And look, this is the funny thing with a recording, is it's a moment in time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, if I was doing this live, I'd probably trim it up. But don't be afraid of that collaboration. I know that you're probably thinking, it's another person I need to split this with. Hey, you know what? Whatever it takes to get a great song out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I follow a great songwriter on TikTok, actually. It's the only platform he's on. His name's JT Harding. And he wrote, funnily enough, he wrote the song Somewhere in My Car by that Keith Urban does. And I did, in the early incarnation of this podcast, I did an entire episode on that song, Somewhere in My Car. And I did not credit JT Harding. I said that it was written by Keith Urban, thinking that it was written by him. But JT Harding is the guy who actually wrote the song Somewhere in My Car. And he came across my TikTok radar. So I guess TikTok was listening, and with its infinite brilliance algorithm said, Dave, you're wrong. This guy, like Somewhere in My Car, must have been talking it around my phone, saying that word so much. TikTok decided to set me straight. put this guy in front of me, and I started following him. He's written a whole bunch of great songs, though. He wrote a song called Beers and Sunshine with Darius Rucker that he wrote during the pandemic. I actually created a Spotify playlist of JT Harding songs. I'm gonna tag him in this. Maybe we can get him on the show. Anyway, one thing that JT talks about quite often is co-writes, and he loves them. He sets up Zoom co-writes, and he really opened up the idea to me that you can co-write with someone, and it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
No.
So before we get, and speaking of co-write, we're gonna get into our song Great Friends. But before we do, I wanted to quickly ask about these lyrics.
Yeah.
Just one last time. So the idea is that you're coming from it's cut. Wait, I've got a button for this for when I want to make a cut.
Fair dinkum.
Okay. That means trim out the last part where my brain literally stopped working. Let's get back on that chain of thought. The song is about intense friendships that are built very quickly while you're on the road. Is that correct? And I just wanted you to kind of expand on that a little bit more.
And reflecting on what makes a friendship work and that click. It's just one of those wonderful things. And like I said, you did mention in your intro, as one gets older, children value their friendships, don't they? You know, they love, this is my BFF, my friend. I love having lots of friends, you know. And you're dead right. I reckon a lot of us adults, when we're in the rat race trying to make money and trying to make our way in a career and all that, we lose that. But I do think that it gets to a certain point where you do value your old friends much, much more. And, you know, if there's one thing you should do is, you know, there's lots of ways to communicate these days. You know, don't be afraid to pick up the phone, your mobile, and give someone a call. You know, it might just make their day. And yeah, that's what these lyrics are about, is that every now and then, you know, when a special person enters your day. And, you know, even our friendship, Dave, you know, I knew right away. We started talking one day. And it was like there was something that clicked there. And so it's celebrating all those friendships.
Very cool. That's what I wanted to kind of touch on, was the inspiration for the song is about friendships being built quickly, and this idea that you know, you feel like you've known this person for ages and ages, which is a feeling that we don't normally get in middle age and onwards, but it does happen, you know. Louis C.K. has a funny bit. It was from years and years ago, one of his early specials. And he talked about being 40. And so it must have been at least 10 years ago, because he's in his 50s now. But he said, you know, you make a new friend when you're a 40-year-old man. And when you want to see that person again, it's weird, because 40-year-old men don't just call each other and say, hey, I really want to see you right now. You know, like, let's do something. It's you kind of got to wait for the next time so it doesn't become weird, right? Yeah. Whereas when you were a kid, you would just do that, you know?
Definitely.
I remember being, I guess I was in my very end of my 20s when I was in South Korea, and I made friends with a young Korean kid. He was the... How did I met him? I met him through a friend, who a teacher. It was actually through an employer. I got introduced to this young guy, and he was just finishing up university. So he was about 6 years younger than me or so. And it seemed like a huge gap at the time, but we got along like a house on fire. He actually was using Cubase at the time and was really into doing remixes of songs. And he was showing me, and I was like, I've used Cubase before. That's incredible. And so he gave me a tutorial on it. And then he loved mountain biking, and I loved BMX, and he started loving all the bands that I was listening to. We started hanging out. I remember one night I was thinking about him, and my phone rang. I was in a video shop. This is how long ago it was. I was gonna rent a tape, and my phone rang, and it was him. And because of the English barrier, right? He just spoke conversational English, and he goes, "David," and I'm like, "Yeah, hey, what's up, man?" He goes, "I miss you." And I was like, that was honest, man. That was like as honest as you can get. He missed me. And I thought, oh, that's great. And so we made an appointment, and the next day hung out and went for some food or whatever, what you do in Korea. So It's true, and we don't want to admit it because we're big, tough, strong guys, right? But there's nothing better. And
definitely.
when the boat is sinking and you're trying to bail out the water coming in, your bank account isn't going to help you. Your great big McMansion isn't going to help you, but a friend would surely help, wouldn't it?
Definitely, definitely.
So, all right. Let's get on. Enough of my verbal diarrhea, right? Let's get on with it. So let's talk about Great Friends. Could you tell the story of that?
Definitely. So probably 2018, 2017, in and around there, when we first met, I became quite interested in writing songs that were outside my own sphere. I was with my daughter at various early childhood centres and that sort of thing, play centre they call it where we come from. And they'd always ask me to sing a song and here's a ukulele and all that. And I used to just make up songs on the spot. And it just opened this little door where I thought, I'm going to write songs for my child and for her friends because they loved them more than hearing the same old nursery rhymes that had always been done. So, basically I was heading down that road and, I had a little YouTube channel at the time that was writing songs for a purpose for children, for their enjoyment. And this particular song was one that I just wanted, I was trying to teach my daughter that just because you like the color red, it doesn't mean that your little friend has to like that as well. And it started with a different thing called a different title. It didn't start as Great Friends. I've got it on my phone.
Yep, we'll have a listen.
We're All Different. That was what the incarnation was. It was like, I started with just because you like pink.
Okay, so you...
Fair dinkum.
Cough button.
Straight. Mate. She'll be right.
Why is it Australian? It's awful.
I got it at the Gold Coast Airport.
G'day, mate.
It's terrible.
I love it. I love it so
Bonza
much.
Ripper Grouse. Is that on there?
What's that?
Bonza Ripper Grouse.
No, I wonder if we could find another one and make requests to...
Crikey.
Crikey.
Yeah, okay. That's the cough button.
No worries.
See? Lates? No worries. Okay. You brought this song to me.
Yeah, it was called We're All Different.
Right, and so you said, Dave, we're in lockdown. Let's start making some new content. Let's just do something fun. It's a fun project. Our daughters were both about the same age at the time. Yeah, okay, we don't have to get into all that. Our daughters were about the same age, and you said, let's do this thing. And it'll be an IP, and I've got an idea for some songs. And, of course, I always have ideas for kids' songs because I write tons of them. So we collaborated on this idea, and you brought the idea to me, and you said, here's what I've got so far. What do you think? And we discussed the co-write. So now, can you please play that idea that you brought?
Yeah, so at that point it was called We're All Different. That was the working title.
Right.
So again, but like one of the other podcasts where we were discussing, the idea that started wasn't the one we finished with. But that's fine. That's part of the process.
Right.
So let's have a little play of... Better than dogs.
I like dogs.
Better than cats.
I like jam. Better than honey. I like honey. Better than jam. I like red. Better than.
It was always meant as a duet. So I like this, you like that. Right, like different things. That makes us human beings.
It's alright, like different things. That makes us human beings.
And then you did a nice little riff there. Okay, so what key's that in?
Jeez.
I think it's C. I like done better than does. I like done. Da 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 da. Oh, okay. So you're going. Okay, interesting. You're going F to C to A minor to F. Well, I threw it all out, right?
I can't even remember it now. It was quite funny. I just found it on the phone, and that was the starting point of what I brought. It was just like, it was meant as a duet, that I'd sing a line, you'd sing a line. And it was to show that for children, that just because you like that, he likes that, she likes that, you know, like, yeah, and that's what started.
Right. So I listened to it, kind of worked on it for a couple of days, and I imagine I got all your lyrics and kind of looked at them in a pool. And I think the first thing that I thought was, it was slightly clunky because it was, I like this better than that.
Well, so I put, I like dogs better than cats, and you wrote, I like dogs, I like cats.
That's right. That's right. So I was trying to strip away anything that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Particularly in kids' music, you only want just the bare minimum, you know? And that was from my history of being a teacher and teaching English in South Korea. It's just too hard teaching someone all these extra concepts. Put it down, make it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Right? What's this? It's an apple. Right? What's this? It's a ball. Yeah. So at its absolute most simple is where you want to be for children's stuff.
Sure.
So I started pulling out the extra stuff, and I just made the tune as simple as I could. And now the beauty of capos is, at the time, I had it capoed on the 3rd fret. So our note would have been that D. Just the D above middle C. I like that. And because
I like cats.
It isn't lunchtime yet, and our voices are still in the morning hours, we're going to drop the capo to the 2nd fret, and it'll be in
Now,
G.
this was your little intro.
Sorry,
this
it'll
was
be in
never
A.
my intro. Where did this come from?
What? Oh, that's me. I got that from James Taylor. Yeah,
so I've never been a fan of James Taylor, so I found it a really interesting start that you had. It's not something I've ever done, which again is one of the magical things about collaboration. Could have, probably opens other doors moving forward. But yeah, so that's a little James Taylor thing.
Right. So it's kind of just a cliched. It's a cliched folk riff. And that's just basically you're playing a G shape, and you're taking your, for those actually watching this, I've got a guitar cam set up here. So I'll put it to the guitar cam. You're playing a G shape using your pinky on the 3rd fret, on the highest string. And you're hammering down your 1st and middle finger on what would be almost a G chord. And it's a tasty little, riff.
It's like a G with a little hammer on C.
Yeah, it's kind of a hammering on C. So instead of a G sus4, which would be if you were just adding your 1st finger on that note, you're adding your middle finger. Now, by the way, I just want to clarify this, and there's a few things about the music in this podcast. One is I try to explain things simple enough that lay people, if they don't know any music, can still enjoy the podcast, for one. And 2, there's 2 ways that I like to talk about chords. If I am talking about a chord, I'll talk about it 1, 2, 3, 4 in the sequence of chords, so that you can change it into any key. So say, for example, if I said we're in the key of C, the 1 chord is the C, the 2 will be the D minor, the 3 will be the E minor, the 4 is the F, and the 5 is the G. Okay, so what did we do with the melody?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the melody stayed kind of similar in the verse. Like, I went, I like dogs better than cats. You're like, I like dogs. I like cats. I like shoes. Maybe should we play it?
Let's do a verse and a chorus.
Okay.
So we went. Yeah.
I like dogs.
I like cats.
I like shoes.
I like hats.
I like circles.
I like squares.
I like peaches.
I like pears.
And it's
Okay to like different things.
We can still be
Great friends.
It's okay
To like different things. We can still be great friends.
Should we carry on?
You know what? Let's get ready to do our full version of the
Let's
song.
do the full version. But
So I just wanted to kind of talk about the chord mutation, but there wasn't really that much from what you had. I mean, we took the essence, we chopped down the lyrics, we made it really simple. We chose nouns that sounded kind of evergreen, you know, like dogs and cats, shoes and hats, circles and squares, peaches and pears. And we just put a couple of interesting chords in there. The whole song is only 1:45, right?
Getting better. No more 4-minute 30s, just 1 minute 45, which is great for children, you know.
And it didn't need a bridge. That's it.
Guitar solo. Yeah. No, the other thing was the lyrics initially, for some reason, just felt a bit negative. I like this better than that. You know, it's like, we didn't need that. And so that's why I think initially when you first came up with the idea, Dave, it felt much more wholesome to just go, I like this and I like that. So this is Great Friends, and let's give it a go from the top. I like dogs.
I like cats.
I like shoes.
I like hats.
I like circles.
I like squares.
I like peaches.
I like pears.
And it's okay to like different things. We can still be
Great friends. It's okay to like different things. We can still be great friends.
I like red.
I like green.
I like salad.
I like ice cream.
I like kites.
I like balls.
I like dinosaurs.
I like dolls.
What? You like dolls?
Yeah, I love them.
So do I. Well, it's okay to like different things.
We can still be great friends. It's okay to like different things. We can still be great friends. We can still be great friends.
Woohoo!
Oh, late.
We've still got it, Alfie.
You know what? You said it, not me. I try to be humble, but pretty good. All right. Okay, let's I don't know where you come back. Okay, here we go. I don't know how you come back from that. Who was
There's
that?
no way you can come back from that. It's like you're a man of many talents, Dave.
Wait, that wasn't me. I mean, that was
Oh, that was Alfie. Yeah, sure.
an alligator walked into the room and
just took over the show.
sang my part for me. That was an alligator.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. What? I don't. I had some thoughts. I don't even. I'm lost now after that. That's what that performance just took out of me.
It's pretty hard to follow an alligator for sure.
It's still a cute song though, isn't it? It's still it's cute. That's
It's
all there
great.
is to it.
And the message is nice,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, appreciate your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of which, look, I think we're there. We've said what we needed to say today. I've had a really good time. They're getting more and more fun, aren't they?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, they are.
Absolutely. So, listen, if you stayed with us this long, I want to thank you for putting up with all of that weirdness. Lates and I are having a great time making these. This is a songwriting podcast. It's I'm trying to keep it light. I'm trying to keep it funny if possible. I just want to make something clean and enjoyable for you to listen to. You can listen to it with your kids in the car. I'm going to try not to get, I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't say in front of my own kids, because I know how hard it is to find content out there that is clean and enjoyable and ticks all those boxes. So that's what we're trying to do here for you. We're just having fun. And I know how much stuff there is out there to listen to and spend your time absorbing between all the social media and all the streaming services and everything else. So if you have listened this far, I really thank you. I really appreciate you joining us for this. We're not putting on airs. We're not trying to be something we're not. We're just trying to be ourselves, at the risk of using a very overused cliche word. We're trying to be
Authentic.
oh, what is that, Lates? You said it.
Authentic.
You know what, Lates? I think we're just living our best lives, aren't we?
We are living our best lives, Dave. Do what we want to do.
Well, speaking of which, I need lunch and then a nap. How's that? Right? 41 going on 90. That's me. Did he say he's 41? He looks older,
He looks
than,
older
that.
than that.
What are you talking about? I owe Jim Gaffigan for that whole bit and that voice that I just did there. Love it, Lates. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks
Let's
for
wrap
having
it
me,
up.
Dave.
Okay. All right. And thank you, dear listener, audience. We'll see you on the next one or hear you on the next one. Join up with us. Take care. Bye-bye.